Honey Stores and welcome back to another video. So this week's video is following on from last week's Florida trip announcement and reveal, and we're going to start talking through the details of what we've booked, what we've paid, the logistics, the itinerary, all that kind of stuff. But for the first part we're going to focus on Universal. So let's jump in. So just to recap on the Universal portion of our trip, we'll be staying there for 9 nights. And we've done a sort of a DIY type booking. So we've booked the hotel, which is Cabana Bay. We've booked that through Virgin Holidays. And then we booked our Universal tickets separately through Attraction Tickets Direct. So for the hotel, we've paid £1,066, and that is just for a room only rate. It is a room that overlooks Volcano Bay, so we're excited about that. We always love a good view from a hotel room. Not that we're kind of in that room much, to be fair. So yeah, room only, no breakfast, no dining credit, nothing like that. So obviously all of that we need to consider on top when we're thinking about the budget. But Cabana Bay had good reviews. It seemed to be well cited in terms of all of the different parks and water parks. So we're pretty happy with that, and because we're going to be an on-site Universal guest, we will get extra entry time into the parks, which is fab. Now for the ticket proportion, like I say, we booked these through Attraction Tickets Direct, and we paid £834, and that was for a 14-day ticket to all 3 of the Universal parks, so Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure and Volcano Bay. Now I'm pretty sure that the offer that we booked under was adult priced tickets for the price of the children's tickets, I believe. But either way, because we'd done the research, we were happy with the price that we paid for the tickets. And although we originally booked when we thought we were only staying for 4 nights, to purchase 14 days worth of tickets, the price was actually just as good as just buying for fewer nights, which in the end worked out well, because obviously with all the changes that we've made and we've had to extend our trip at Universal, we're glad that we're able to make use of the park and not have to have bought a separate ticket. So that's everything that we've paid so far for Universal. Now let's talk through the plans. So when we arrive in Orlando, obviously we know that we'll be knackered, so we're not planning on doing any park or anything like that on the first day. We're just gonna get from the airport, the hotel, check in, unpack. We're going to be packing separately, so keeping Universal separate from the offsite, separate from Disney, so it's just easier, like with clothes and things. We'll probably just grab something to eat, whether or not we just grab it on site at the Bayliner Diner, or if we pop into City Walk. I suppose it depends on how we're feeling, how tired we are. But that's kind of our night. We'll try and stay up as long as we can to try and stave off that jet lag, but it is what it is. So then the very first day that we're there, we are planning to do Universal Studios. Now, having never been to Universal before, it's all new to us, and I'm kind of imagining it's a bit like Disneyland Paris in the sense that you've got the 2 parks. They are full day parks in their own right, but you can hop between them if you wish, because they're quite centrally located to one another. So I think what we're going to try and do, just to get our bearings, is try and do 1 day just at Universal, and then another day at Islands of Adventure, and then for the rest of the days maybe kind of go back and forth if we need to. I think it just really depends on crowd levels, queue times, what we're loving more than others. We want to experience everything, so I think some of that is just going to be a little bit of a suck it and see when we're there and see what makes most sense for us. We have ring fenced a day for Volcano Bay, and I think I mentioned in the last video that when we went on our trip in November, because of the weather, often the water parks were closed, so we didn't actually get to experience any. Now obviously we're going in February, so it's probably going to be a similar situation, but I'm hoping that the nice weather will hold out and we get to make use of the water parks and the pool itself at Cabana Bay, which also looks fab. Now for the remaining days at Universal, we will be splitting those and doing a couple of off-site bits, which I'll talk about in next week's video so I can get more into the detail of that. But what I'd read and researched is that really most people kind of tend to spend 3 to 4 days and not much more at Universal. So I think the fact that we're going to be spending, I think, 7 days at Universal, Islands of Adventure and Volcano Bay hopefully should be more than enough to do all of the things that we want to do. And man, are we excited about what we've got ahead. So I will plan to talk through dining in a separate video, so again I can get more into the detail. Dining is one of my favourite subjects to talk about, but just to touch on it briefly here, as there is no dining credit, I think, or dining package, I think Universal has previously done like a meal plan. However, that's not currently being sold, so everything will be out of pocket. So what we're planning on doing is a mix of quick service and also table service. There's some amazing places that we really like the look of, so we'll be utilising a bit of both. We will also plan on going to like a Walgreens or a Target to try and stock up with some snacks, maybe some breakfast bits. Not necessarily from a budgeting purpose, but I think because we've got such a long stay, it's going to be really difficult, I think, to kind of eat out for every single meal, and you'll have to roll us home, which is probably not the best idea. So I think if we kind of mix it up a little bit, maybe just have some cereals, pastries, and then maybe more like sit down dinners, maybe quick service lunch, I think hopefully that will kind of help from a cost perspective, but also from a waistline perspective. Now, I'm just basing that on our last trip to Florida in 2019 when we had the Disney Deluxe Dining, which was 3 meals a day, starter, main and dessert with cocktails. And it was a lot of food to cram in, and whilst we absolutely loved the experience, yeah, we did come back heavier, and it was just like, a lot of it was just trying to squeeze like extra time in for food when you've got so much park and so much stuff to do. So yeah, we're just going to mix it up a little bit this time, especially because it's all out of pocket. So we have been making like little wish lists of all the things we want to do and are kind of really looking forward to most, and thinking about how we can prioritize to make sure that we can get in all of the must-dos that we want to have. Now, the benefit of Universal is that you don't need to make park reservations, so you can just rock up and you can hop between the 2 parks, so that will probably help out that. So in terms of our wish list then, it very much is focused around the sort of main themed areas of the park. So firstly, Harry Potter. Now, we're all really looking forward to riding Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike ride. Now, that's still a relatively new ride, and I hear it's quite difficult. I think sometimes they operate via a virtual line, other times via a standby line, so I think when we get there we're just going to have to work out whether or not we need to rope drop it. I think that's probably going to be the most sensible option. And then we want to take it in turns, hopefully, to ride motorbike versus sidecar, because I think each one is like a slightly different experience as well. So that's definitely up there on the list. I think just exploring Diagon Alley is just something we're so excited to do after spending so long reading the books, and I think definitely the books are more immersive than the films, and they definitely illustrate a slightly different picture, I think, from the films. So to actually just go and have a wander around, look at all the shops, go down all the different alleyways, you know, see the dragon, just see everything for ourselves is just something that, in particular, Oscar and I are so excited about. I really also want to try an ice cream from Florian Fortescue's ice cream parlour. So it's all those things, like feeling like you're actually immersed in the books and the films that you love. So I'm very excited for that. I think Oscar as well is so looking forward to the Simpsons land, because he really is obsessed with the Simpsons. And again, that's just another area that looks so immersive. Now, Oscar said to me just this morning he can't wait to try Lardla donut. So I think it's the big pink donut. And yeah, that looks pretty good, although I'm guessing it will be like the size of Oscar's head. So in terms of rides at the Simpsons land, I think there is the main ride at the Simpsons land, which is a simulator type ride. Now, I can be a bit iffy on simulator type rides, and what I understand is that Universal do actually utilise a lot of simulator style rides, so definitely think I'm going to have to take some motion sickness tablets to help with that. But then they've also got the Twirl and Whirl, which, you know, is just like a spinny up and down kind of ride. So I don't think there's necessarily loads to do ride wise in the Simpsons area, but again, more around the theming of the land. Definitely like the quick service options as well look fantastic, and having grown up watching The Simpsons, you know, being able to try a Krusty Burger and a Flamin' Moe, all those kinds of things, like we're really looking forward to doing. I think the Jurassic Park themed area is just going to be incredible. Again, we're huge fans of Jurassic Park, having grown up watching all the movies and obviously introducing them to Oscar now that he's a little bit older. The new Velocicoaster ride, I mean, wow, that looks incredible. We've been showing Oscar some videos. I'm not sure if he's going to be brave enough to do that, so I guess we'll just have to see. But, well, and also the height requirements, actually, we need to double check on those. But if we can get to do all of those things, we'll be very happy bunnies. And then finally, the Dr. Seuss area. I mean, Oscar is a little bit big now, so it might be with a little bit of reluctance, but we read Dr. Seuss to Oscar growing up, and I just think there's something timeless about it, right? So even though the rides might be a little bit smaller, I still think it will be things that we can enjoy, especially if there's characters that you can meet, like Thing 1, Thing 2. I'm guessing that the Grinch doesn't come out unless it's Christmas time. Not sure, but maybe Cat in the Hat, I don't know. But it looks like there are still character experiences at Universal, which will be great, because obviously character experiences now are a little bit different. I mean, even if it is just like the selfie style stations, you can still have your little interaction, get your photo. So we'll just have to see what it's like when we're there, but we're very excited. The one thing I'm not too sure on, and the website actually isn't really that informative, so if you're watching and have experience, then please do let me know. But Nightwork Fireworks Show and also parades, it looks like they do have both, and I believe the fireworks are over the sort of Hogwarts area, but I wasn't really quite clear on the times, whether it's at park close or before, if it's a specific time, so that just wasn't very clear to me. And maybe it's just because the park hours only go out a month in advance, so we're not quite at our time yet, so we can't really see and therefore see like a park map or anything like that, park schedule. But if you've got any experience of that, then please do let us know. I also think there is a little parade that goes through with lots of different characters. I see that there's SpongeBob, Dora, that kind of thing. So that should be fun, but again, not quite sure on the timings for that. And we just want to make sure that we're kind of being sensible with our itinerary, not booking in a lunch option if there's a parade, that kind of thing. So I will keep checking it, but yeah, if you do know, then give us a shout, because we'd appreciate that. So Universal, we're just excited to actually go and experience something new as well. And like I said in the last video, there's always a bit of apprehension that comes with that, because clearly you want to make the most out of your trip. They're always expensive trips. You don't really have as long there as ever you'd like, so you want to try and make the most of everything. So I think I just need to do a little bit more research on the Universal side, try and work through like a rough agenda of the day as to kind of where we want to be, where we want to go. There's some great resources to help with that. So I am signed up to Touring Plans, and they help you actually book your day based on the attractions and any shows or entertainment that you want to see around dining, etc. And they actually help build a schedule for you. Now, definitely lesson learned from our last trip in 2019. We really did overfill it because we were just so keen. Whilst we got everything done, we were just exhausted, and we just know that because we are going for longer this time, we really do need to kind of slow the pace down a little bit, because I just don't think we'll cope at that pace for 3 whole weeks. So I think we just need to kind of do something that probably won't come naturally to us and slow down a bit and just try and take more time, rest time, pool time, maybe go back to the room a little bit. And that's just never really for us, because we're quite active people. We like to be on the go all the time, and we absolutely want to make the most out of all of our experiences. But what we don't want to do is burn ourselves out, especially because the back end of the trip is Disney, which we know will be full on as well. So I think we just need to be a little bit sensible with how we do this. But yeah, touring plans is such a good resource and will certainly help us, I think, to kind of make the most of our time in the park. So I think that's everything for Universal, and can't wait to show you the outfits. We bought some really cool stuff, like, and for Oscar, and I'm excited for that, and just excited for it all to come together. It's just going to be hopefully such an amazing trip. But yeah, if you have got any tips for us, then please do let us know. Drop us a comment in the comment box. We really do appreciate it. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.